Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We're going to make you feel better today, and that involves pain. We all eventually have some kind of pain, some body pain, and a lot of times we just write it off as, just I'm getting older. I'm feeling some pain over there. Maybe I think I injured myself, but I'm not really sure. It's your body talking to you, but many times we don't listen to what our body is saying. And as I've learned from her, many times the pain that we experience is happening as a result of an experience, a lived experience. We're going to dig deep into how to listen to your body, how to figure out why you have that pain. She's somebody that works with people to heal all the time in many different levels. She's Marianne Hedges Hennigar. She's back with us. And welcome. How are you?
Hi, Steve. I'm doing great. It's so good to be with you again.
Same. Yeah, great to have you here. I learned a lot so far. And it's as I'm talking, I was hanging out with my best friend last night, and he was experiencing a pain in his arm. And weird pain, got to tell you that. And he's taking an anti-inflammatory, which he had maybe this pain back in the day. I don't even know. But he doesn't know where it's coming from. And I said, well, you're an EMT. Maybe, it's something muscular from carrying patients. I don't know. My gut is telling me it's not. It's something else. And it's coming from his left side and under his arm.
Very interesting. So is it more in the armpit or on the underside of the arm?
Good question. I want to say more in the armpit.
Okay. So there very often, and this is not a stretch, very often there may be something hidden or private that is being either invaded somehow or being affected more often than not by a male figure, because that's left side is very often reacting to a male figure. So I would be curious with him about what is hidden that maybe is being exposed or that he is concerned may be exposed. That might cause him to feel some type of vulnerability. And
Okay.
what does he need to take better care of keeping private? So I'd explore around with that, asking in that somewhat vein to see what he might be noticing. But what he can do about it actively, if it's not a strain, because he lifts people for his patient care. If he didn't just move wrong and do something to his intercostals, that would be in the rib cage. Sometimes we can use that, and I'm talking as a clinical sports massage therapist. I'm putting on that hat right now. But if he had lifted in a certain way and used that part of his body to brace and then force movement, that could also be. But if it's emotionally based, and it could be some of both, I would be curious with him about that.
Well, I'm going to address that. His dad last week fell and broke his hip, and his dad is like 92, and his dad is now recovering, doing okay. And I've known the family pretty much forever. He's in a rehab center now, and my friend, of course, is visiting him along with his sisters. But you mentioned a male on that side, and
yes. Exactly. So I would be curious with him around stuff around his dad, because his body may be speaking in regards to that. Again, that armpit area seems to house a privacy issue. And so, of course, ribs, in many traditions, healing traditions, the ribs or the lungs can be related to repressed grief. And so on the left side, activation would possibly be a very accurate pinpoint from what the body has to say.
And, judging, viewing, I think they have a little bit of a relationship like this. So, that is in line. I don't think it's as far as the ribs. It's more centered
it's
in
more
here.
right up in here. Okay.
Yeah. So, interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And you've shared some things with me, excuse me, pains that I've had and what they could be associated with. And I think that was spot on. So I think there may be interesting that it's on the left side, even that alone, and that he's having health issues with his dad going on right now, and the timing. Interesting.
Yeah. So
Your One of your missions is to help us shift our mindset in that body pain isn't just body pain. There's more to it than that. There's more going on than that. What do you want people to know overall?
Well, so there are some amazing people out there that are developing some beautiful programs in the realm of body psychology. That would be somatic experiencing, EMDR, brain spotting. The audience can all look that up, those up, and they're very, very effective with helping people. But they're talking about methodology, and they're talking about specific actions you can take, either using your eyes or using your body, or a combination thereof. And of course, being curious about sensations. What I'm here to do alongside those modalities is to help people shift the mindset around body pain. It is not just body actions, but it is realizing that the body is communicating just as clearly as you and I are speaking. Now, I may not speak Chinese, but a Chinese person understands exactly what another Chinese person is saying. What we don't have as a ubiquitous part of across culturally, not only in ours, but in other cultures, is the understanding that body pain and sensation is a direct communication, not to be silenced for silencing's sake, but to be understood and to see how the body is trying to help us in our lives. It is our partner, not just a vehicle we're housed in.
Hmm. In your experience, percentage between it being pain because of, let's say, a sports injury or whatever, versus it's a body pain coming from a lived experience. What do you think the percentage is?
It's invariably it's layered, so it's a combination of all of the above. But if we're able to unpack what some of the psychological or emotional experiences may be in relationship to others and to self, then there's a higher likelihood that a person will not develop a sports injury, especially if it's like an overuse injury. I speculate as a massage therapist or a retired massage therapist that people are more likely to injure an area if they already have an emotional something going on. So they're predisposed to injury.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So when you spoke to me about one of your body things that you had going on, similar to someone else, and I'll let you reveal that because it's not appropriate for me to say what it was. You can share as you like. But that one area, you chalked it up to possibly, that it was an overuse or ligamentous something. It could have been. But then we revealed that there was an emotional component and we were able to pinpoint it. And I'm just wanting to find out, how is that body part that you checked on last time? How is it doing?
can't believe you said that. It was doing great. Let me rewind and reset this for all.
Yes.
So rotator cuff, slight issue, at least I think it is. Had sonograms, all that done, no diagnosis. Uh, Doctor suggested primary doctor physical therapy, not covered by insurance, and the pain's not that bad that I'm not gonna, it's just I can't just keep spending on physical therapy. If I knew it was going to be done, great. You said that it could be attached to call it an emotional situation, and it was perfectly in line with what you said. You did a session with me. The pain went away. I woke up today for the first time in 2 weeks since we had our session, feeling a little bit of the pain coming back, and it's this arm, and I want to say it's kind of back, and I'm trying to think of what I did physically. I got nothing. I don't know how and
Right.
why would it
So,
would it come back?
right. So that would since this term is so popular in our culture now, something triggered your experience, your emotions as regards to a female figure.
Hmm.
And that there is maybe reactivation of some resentment, or could be something around an anniversary in regards to to a female figure, and only you could identify who that might be. But as you're able to identify who that might be, and you recognize that, you can sometimes, just by recognizing it and hearing what the body's trying to talk about, that may be enough to allow the pain to shift and to possibly go away. Or you can do some other things that are body actions, such as you can take an object and put it where you're feeling the pain, and then allow your eyes to look somewhere. And once you've processed through, the pain likely will go away. Or there's some other things that you can do, which are activating a little bit more self access, a little bit more self-efficacy. In other words, sticking up for yourself, that would also allow the body to release that energy that's coming across as pain.
Why do you take an object and pinpoint it?
Because it's very interesting, and this is straight out of the part of the work that I do from brain spotting from David Gran. What's been found is that the hand, when you place the hand there, it has a comforting effect, which may be just holding you in place, giving you comfort, but not releasing the energy. And also you have energetics in your hand. So you're doing a wholly different thing. But when you take an object and pin the spot, it has played out. There's evidence from client to client that it actually allows the energy to release. And so if you think of your pain, especially if there's no obvious injury when you've been examined, your pain is an expression of the energy locked in the body. What is the energy? It's not like the energetics from Reiki. It is energy that is leftover vestiges in your fight, flight, freeze as regards possibly to this individual who's represented on the right side. Does any of that fit for you?
Yeah, and it's interesting how you're saying it. I almost picture like a lightning rod, where the lightning rod is up, you have this energy, it hits it, it dissipates it from the cloud and sends it into the ground, and then it's gone. So it
I
almost
love
sounds,
how you describe that. Yeah,
we're
that's a very
pointing
good way.
at it to almost draw the bad energy out, if you will.
Yes, and anyone viewing us or listening to us, if they want to experiment with this idea a little bit, just take when you have a sore neck, and you allow your eyes to focus on one focal point where you feel emotionally greater relaxation. Hold that object there. It could be a spoon, a pen, anything, and let some time pass, and then recheck yourself. And that would be stress in the neck that's related to perhaps needing to activate some more self-efficacy, and it comes across in neck pain. But anyone in the listening or viewing audience can try that and see how well it works.
What do you got to lose?
You have absolutely nothing to lose, but you may have another solution in your toolbox. Rather than taking an Advil or a muscle relaxant, you may be able to release the energy related to that, quote unquote, what we see as stress out of the body.
What about, I'm just going to pick some random typical body pain that a lot of people experience. Sciatica. Some people have the pain, here shoots down their leg a little bit, just is that just, I'm getting older, or is
Well,
that
if it's not a pelvic girdle misalignment or a lower lumbar vertebrae that are out of alignment, or maybe there's an intervertebral disc that might be flat or bulging. But if it's related very often to an emotional event, again, on the right side, we would look for, are you somehow being activated by a female figure for the right side, or activated by a male figure on the left side? Sciatica itself can be due to pelvic girdle misalignment. So can the experience of having piriformis syndrome. Again, that would be just a little something different. But as related to the sacral body at the very bottom of your spine, very often people will relate that pain with having your business messed with somehow. And by another person, they may be threatening it because of inaction or actions. You may have some resentment because you need to disengage from that individual. And so you can end up with sciatic pain. Again, each individual person that's experiencing the body pain If the pinpoint is accurate based on what I'm talking about, then the body should release the pain. If I'm not accurate, then we continue searching until we hit on the accurate pinpoint. Always the client is the expert.
Wow. This is to me fascinating how you make these connections. And then, of course, there's going to be many are skeptical and kind of poo-poo it and all of that. Um, I truly think there's a connection. There really is. There's something more going on, right?
There's something more going on. And if we're able to befriend our body and ask it, what are you trying to tell me? What do I need to shift in my life? What relationship is problematic in my life that the body needs to speak up through sensation and pain?
Hmm.
It is uncanny from just mentioning these things from any person that I meet on the street. They'll say, why, yes, XYZ is happening in my life. Oh my goodness, my hip feels better. If you feel better, that the proof is in that pudding.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's even, I'm not saying you're a psychic, but even skeptics of psychics try to pull things apart. However, when I gave you situations, and even my friend you identified could be a male, you didn't know what I was going to say. There was no way, and for me, even in that situation, I could just throw that up in the air and say, yeah, whatever. The timing is too close
Yeah.
to, his father's issue and then him having pain.
Yes. And it may look, like psychic, but really what you're witnessing is that, and I think it's one reason is because I'm multilingual. It makes sense that I would see body pain as a language as opposed to simply looking at it as symptoms, which calling it just symptoms, if the body's talking, that's dismissive. And the body escalates when we don't listen.
Hmm. Yes, it does. And that manifests in that thing called disease and all those
Yeah.
other problems. Is it reasonable to think that your body is first trying to tell you these things? You have a pain here, you have wherever, whatever it is, it's trying to say, hey, wait a minute. You have some emotional stuff going on that you're dealing with. So I'm showing you pain to show you that something's up. And if you don't take care of the emotional side or whatever the situation is, it's gonna get worse. I'm sorry. This is the body talking. I can't do this all myself. I need some help.
Well, and the mind and body obviously need to work together. And again, it's not common culturally to see body pain as information beyond looking for disease that's already escalated. So you went to see if you had rotator cuff problem. Your body hadn't escalated to actual tissue damage yet because you had a chance to listen in. Chances are, if you can deal with the whatever situation was going on so that you no longer have those feelings locked in the body, then your body doesn't need to go to injury to try to get your attention even louder.
Hmm. And we need to listen. We need to take time, not to just listen to our bodies, but our minds to see the connection, like what you're saying and why my pain came back. I'm going to analyze what's going on lately. There may be little upticks in a situation that may have brought that back. Got to be mindful.
Yes, yes. The other thing that you can do, aside from pinning, just so I can give you another little nugget, is that you can try either going up to a closed door, or to a wall and push with all your might. Sometimes you'll really feel some strong emotion come up. Some people burst into tears if it's ready to up for review. Some people will feel some righteous anger that needs to come out. And you do the experiment with pushing either the wall or the door to see which one feels better. And you will always be the good determiner, the accurate self-physician to help your body process that locked up fight, flight, freeze, fawn, or collapse in energy.
Hmm. And I've seen this done before in different ways. And it is a way to release whatever's inside of you, whether it's grief, anger, resentment, frustration. That's just a part of it. But that also manifests as energy that you need to get rid of in some way. Would be easy if we could just go like that, go away, energy. bad energy, but there needs to be something taken care of. Like pushing against the wall.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Uh,
And, that's also why so many people talk about how working out works so well for them to help their mental health. You'll hear people who are recreational athletes talk about, oh, yeah, I'm a mess if I don't run. They're releasing that energy.
Never thought of it that way.
Mhm.
Wow.
Our bodies are
Wow.
amazing. They're amazing communicators.
Agree.
So I'm here to help people decode the language of the body to help them with greater health.
Well, it's amazing the tools that you have because coming from sports massage therapist,
Mhm.
do I have that title right?
Correct.
Okay. So you have an understanding of physiology and the body. Now you've paired that with your insight on healing from a energetic standpoint, a hypnotic standpoint, all of that to understand it. Again, what do you have to lose, everybody? You're dealing with chronic pain to go like this and in doing this pinning, right?
Right. You pin it. Mhm.
Do you say anything?
Do I say anything? I say you just check in with yourself. One set, and of course I want to clarify that in brain spotting they call it body spotting. I call it pinning.
Okay.
But you can call it whatever you want. But once you pinpoint that area, and then you're able to process through, and it looks very much like I'm watching you right now. Your eyes are blinking. That's you're already starting to process just
I
right here.
was. I, I was. I was
Exactly.
I was seriously thinking about it.
Yeah. And so what you'll do is just check in with yourself. Does it feel the same way? Do you need to do more? Let's do more.
Hmm.
Is there another place you need to look? And conversely, you can offer that to your friend with his armpit or underarm issue. Take a big old wooden spoon and stick it up under there. Look somewhere in the room and then check in a few minutes. You're the expert.
Hmm. I think it's cool.
It is cool.
I'm not saying this because you're here. Does it work fast?
It works. It works at breakneck speed, right?
Like
It
I'm just on my because people are gonna think I'm just making this up, but there was a pain right here, and as I was doing concentrating on it, I'm not feeling it. I mean it.
Isn't that wonderful?
Weird. I almost wanted to come back so I can do that again.
There you go. Well, here's what's amazing is that it's so natural and it's innate. We're built that way, just like we're built to heal. We're built to process oxygen. We're built to process food. This is another innate gift that we are given, that if we can understand these simple things to do, we can allow either clients or lay people to help themselves. And that's my mission in life, is to
Mm.
help people help themselves.
How do we find you?
All right. So the best way to connect with me is to go to my website at insighthealinginc.com. That's Insight Healing Inc.com. Connect with me. I'll respond very quickly. You can read some more about the work. You can research to your heart's content. I give enough information there. And you have nothing to lose, especially since right now, no, this might not be the case down the road, but right now, my first consultation and give you a chance to sample the work is free of charge for the
Wonderful.
first visit. Subsequent visits, you can sign up and I'll be happy to create sessions for you with goals in mind to help with your health.
There's a reason that people reach out to you, find you around the world, because this is stuff that works and groundbreaking in my opinion. We don't hear
It's
about
very
this.
exciting.
Yeah.
People are just amazingly and beautifully made.
Yes. Well, we underestimate ourselves and what our bodies can do. Just listen. Great having you on here again today,
Thank you.
Marianne, and looking forward next time we talk.
Oh, I do too. Thank you so much for your time and your very good questions.
Thank you. We're coming right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.